Hello all, my name is Rahman and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And welcome to a new series called Microsoft Azure Fundamental Series. In this series, guys, we'll be talking all about Azure and we'll be learning what is Azure, how it works, why it is used, and we'll be practically working with Azure like we will be talking about the resource group, Azure account, what are the resources, and we'll be creating the storage accounts, all of those stuff. Let's go ahead and get started. First of all, guys, if you remember, I already created a playlist called MLOps, Machine Learning Operations, where we talked about what is machine learning operations, and at that time we also learned about the cloud computing, right? And because we learned about that just because there we were working with the Azure, but we just talked about storage accounts, all of those stuff, and the cloud computing also we talked about, but not that much in detail. So in this video, I will talk about the introduction to cloud computing, like what is cloud computing, what are the cloud computing platforms, then what are the cloud models, then the cloud. We will be talking about the cloud service models and the cloud deployment models. First of all, let's talk about what is cloud computing. Now you might be thinking, what is cloud computing? Now cloud computing is like renting a computer over the internet. Now you can use the software and store the data without owning the hardware. Now, cloud computing is like having a magic box that holds all of your things, but that will not be in your house. That magic box is not going to be in your house. Now you can access your things from anywhere as long as you have the internet. Now it's like having your own personal treasure chest that you can use whenever and from wherever you want. Now that is what the cloud computing. Now you might be thinking, why should we move to cloud? And the answer is simple, because of the maintenance, because of the security problems. I just want to give you an example. Let's say that you have a company where a lot of people are working, around 1000 people are working. Now your company is about the e-commerce website, right, where you are storing the. Now there are 1000 customers, right, who are ordering from your website. Now you are going to store their data, right? So for that you need something called as hardware, right? So you need servers, all of the stuff, so you have to purchase that. But as long as the customers grow, if they grow to 50,000 people or 1 lakh people, then you have to increase the size of the servers, and you have to buy a room, right? So there will be a lot of maintenance problems and the security problems. So that's why we have to move to the cloud. Now, one of the best cloud computing platforms is Azure. Now, we'll be talking about the cloud computing platforms. There are a lot and a lot of cloud computing platforms such as the Azure, Google Cloud Platform, and the AWS. These are one of the most popular cloud computing platforms. Now then, there comes is the Oracle cloud infrastructure, then the IBM cloud, Digital Ocean, Tencent cloud, then Linode, then OVH cloud, and there is one more thing called as database called cloud. So these are the cloud computing platforms. So one of the most popular and one of the most used is the Azure, Google Cloud Platform, and AWS. So these are one of the most popular cloud platforms. Now let's talk about what are the cloud models, right? Now this is the cloud models. There are three main cloud model service models and the deployment models. Okay, the first one comes is the software as a service, platform as a service, and then infrastructure as a service. Then in the deployment models, the third there are three. The first one is private cloud, public cloud, and then hybrid cloud. First of all, let's talk about the service models. Okay, so these all of these things are important, but the main three important are the software as a service, then platform as a service, and then infrastructure as a service. So we'll be talking about these three of them in detail after some time. But let's have a look at all of them. Now SaaS, which is also called as software as a service, which provides the. So these are the examples like Office 365 is a SaaS, so it's type of SaaS. It's come in the SaaS, and then FaaS, which is also called as the function as a service. Then we have the desktop as a service, platform as a service, storage as a service. Now you might be thinking STaaS is the software as a service. No, it's storage as a service. Then we have the IaaS, which is also called as infrastructure as a service. So these are the companies that comes into IaaS. So like Amazon Web Services, EC2, Rackspace, the and then Google Cloud, Google Compute Engine, all of the stuff. Now in the FAS, FaaS, function as a service, there comes is the cloud functions. These things comes. Then in the DaaS, desktop as a service, there comes is the cloud data store, DynamoDB, Cassandra, Microsoft SQL Azure, Oracle Data Cloud, and then in the past there comes is the Microsoft Azure, OpenPass Suite, then Salesforce platform. There is a lot of difference between Salesforce platform and the Salesforce. Now, if you see in the SaaS here, we have something called as this Salesforce, and here you can see we have the Salesforce platform, right? Now you might be thinking these two are same. No, these two are pretty much different. Then comes is the STaaS, which is also called as the storage as a service, which has the OneDrive, Dropbox, Google Drive, iCloud, Google Cloud Storage. Then the last comes is the IaaS, infrastructure as a service. Now let's go ahead and see some more examples. Now as you can see here that we have the infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, then we have the software as a service. I wanted to give you an example here on premises. Now you might, I'm saying that you are not using any three of these: infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and then software as a service. You are not using any of these. Now, if you are not using this, then you have to manage these things such as the applications, data, runtime, middleware, operating system, then virtualization, servers, storage, and the networking. So you have to manage all of those stuff. Now the blue color that you are seeing is the things that you have to manage, and the white and gray color that you can see is those are the things managed by the cloud provider or the vendor. Now infrastructure as a service, there what happens is the things that you are going to manage is four things. The first comes is the applications, the data, runtime, and the middleware. Now, the cloud provider is going to manage the operating system, virtualization, it's going to manage the storage, networking, servers, all of those stuff. Now, I will be talking about each of them detailedly, but let's have a look at these images. Now, in the platform as a service, you can see here that we have the two things to manage, right? The first comes is the applications, then the second comes is the data, right? We have the runtime, middleware, and these from here to here that you can see is managed by the cloud provider or the vendor. You have to just manage the two things. That is, you have to manage your applications and your own data. Now, at the end, we have this software as a service. Everything is going to provided by the managed by the vendor or the cloud provider. You don't have to manage anything. I will be giving you another example of that, but I want to talk about this one. Let's talk about IaaS, which is infrastructure as a service. Now, infrastructure as a service means you can run computers and storage space on the internet instead of buying them. It's like renting toys from a toy store instead of purchasing them. You can use as much or as little as you need, and you don't have to worry about taking care of them when you are done. Now, it's going to the toy from wherever you have purchased the toy, then that store is going to be taking care of the toy. You don't have to do anything. Now, basic category of cloud computing comes is the red IT structure, infrastructure, servers, and the virtual machines, and the storage, networking, operating system from a cloud provider on a pay-as-you-go basis. Azure provides the virtual machine loaded with the operating system line such as the Linux with the SQL Server and the .NET. So it's going to happen in the IaaS, infrastructure as a service. Now let's talk about PaaS. platform as a service. Imagine you want to build a tree house, but you don't have any tools or materials. You could go to a special place called a tool shed where they have everything you need to build your tree house. Well, platform as a service is a kind of like that tool shed. Instead of tools and materials, it's a special place on the internet where you can go and build your own websites, apps, or other cool things without have to worrying about all of the complicated and the technical stuff. Now at the end comes is the software as a service. Now imagine that you really like playing with toys but you don't have a big collection at home. So instead of buying a lot of toys, you keeping them in your room, you can go to a special toy library. So like that only software as a service is going to work. Now I'm going to give you another example here. As you can see here that we have the traditional on premises. Now if you are but if you are cooking a pizza at your home, what you have to do is you need these things like you need a dining table, you need soda, you need electric or the gas, then you need the fire, then you need the oven, pizza dough, tomato sauce, toppings, and the cheese. If you are cooking the pizza at home, if the pizza is made at home, but if you are taking and baking at your home, such as now the things that you have to do is you need the dining table, so it should be from you. Then we need the soda, then gas, electric, or and fire and the oven. Now the things that you're going to purchase from the store is such as the tomato sauce you're going to purchase, and then you are going to purchase the toppings, cheese, all of the stuff. So these stuff that you are going to take and bake. So you are going to purchase some things from the store, and then you're going to come home and cook that pizza. Now here what we have is the platform as a service. Now for the platform as a service, there are two things that you need. You need the dining table and the soda because you have to sit and eat at your home. But the pizza is delivered at your home. So all of the things are managed by the vendor, right? Like the gas, electric, fire, oven, pizza dough, tomato sauce, toppings, cheese, and because these things are delivered at your home. The pizza is made and delivered at your home, but you just need is the soda and the dining table. Now, software as a service is like dined out when you are going somewhere, like if you are at a restaurant where you are purchasing a pizza, right, for eating, right? So there you don't need anything. Everything will be managed by the vendor. So the blue color that you are seeing here is the things that we have to manage, and the orange color that you are seeing is the vendor is going to manage by themselves, so we don't need to manage that. Or so like that also cloud providers are also going to manage these things as the applications, such as the operating system, virtualization, servers, storage, and networking. So the gray color that you are seeing is managed by the vendor, and the blue color that you are seeing is managed by us or managed by you. Now let's talk about the deployment models. From the time we're talking about the service models, like I said you that there are a lot of service models. For example, here if we go here, like here, as you can see here that we have the SaaS, FAS, DAS, PAS, STAS, and then IaaS. So these are the service models. Now let's talk about the cloud deployment models. Now there are the main three cloud deployment models. The first one is the public, then private, then the hybrid. So we'll be talking about each of them in detail, and then at the end we'll be talking about their difference. Let's talk about the public cloud. Now imagine that you go to a park where there are many toys and the playground equipment that anyone can use, right? Now a public cloud is like that park. Now it's a big computer network that a lot of people and organizations can use to store their data and run their applications. Now, this network is provided by the company that manages the infrastructure and makes it available to anyone over the internet. Now, this is what the public cloud is. Now, let's talk about the private cloud. What is private cloud? Now, with the word private cloud, imagine that a computer network that only you and your family can use, with no strangers or outsiders around. Now, that's like a kind of private cloud, a private cloud computer network that is set up just for one organization or a company or a group of people. Now, in another example that I can give is now you might have went to a swimming pool, right? Now there is a public swimming pool and there is a private swimming pool. Now in the public swimming pool, there are a lot of people who uses that. Now with the private swimming pool, in your home there is swimming pool that no anyone outsiders are not allowed, right? So that's like the private cloud. Now let's talk about the hybrid cloud. Now private cloud plus a public cloud is equal to hybrid cloud. So that is what it is. If we mix private cloud with the public cloud, then it becomes the hybrid cloud. Now, hybrid cloud is like having toys at home and at your friend's house, and being able to play with them whenever and wherever you want. A hybrid cloud is like that. It's a combination of private and the public cloud. Your toys at home and a public cloud is like your toys at your friend's house. So you are keeping your toys at both houses, at your home and at your friend's home. So that is what the hybrid cloud is. Now let's talk about the differences, the difference between the public cloud, private cloud, and the hybrid cloud. The difference is that everyone is having the scalable, as you can see here that, and then now public cloud is having the reliable, so it's pretty much reliable. Then the private cloud is very much secure because now in the public cloud there will be a lot of organizations or a group of people who will be using the public cloud. But private cloud means just a group of people or one organization or only one person is using the private cloud. So that's why it's secure, and hybrid cloud is also secure because both of them are involved in that. You can use private cloud or public cloud in the hybrid cloud. Now, public cloud is not expensive, it's inexpensive, and private cloud is flexible, and hybrid cloud is also flexible. Now, for the public cloud, the location is independent. Okay, then for the private cloud, you can control. So there are greater controls in that, and then hybrid cloud is the cost effective. Now I will be talking about some more differences. No capital expenditures to scale up in the public cloud. Then in the private cloud, organizations have the complete control over the resources and the security for the private cloud. And then hybrid cloud provides the flexibility as we talked about that. Now for the public cloud, organizations only pay for what they use. Now, private cloud is like hardware must be purchased for setup and the maintenance. Private cloud is like that. Now, organizations control the security, compliance, or the legal requirements for the hybrid cloud. I want to just give one example. Now, public cloud is like a swimming pool where you are not going to purchase that. You are just paying for when you want to use, okay, and then you pay for what you use. For 1 hour, you pay, let's say that around 100 rupees, right? Now, for the second hour, you pay one more hundred, so it's going to be 200. For the public swimming pool, now for the private swimming pool, you have to set up, right? You have to dig that in your home, and then you have to fill the water, and then you have to use. So that's the private swimming pool. Now hybrid cloud is like, now you have a swimming pool at your home and it's also in the public. Now if you are at home, you are using there, and if you are not at home, then you are using the the public one, right? So that's what the hybrid cloud is. So you might have understood the differences between the public, private, and the hybrid cloud. And we talked about the deployment models, the service models, all of those stuff. So anyhow, guys, that's all for this video. And I hope you like and enjoyed watching this video. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and share it with your friends. And if you have any questions, give that in the comments below. I will see you all in another tutorial. Thanks for watching and goodbye.